Hold on.
Time to slaughter someone.
Out of my way.
I'm here, maggot. Let's get to it.
Let's get to it.
Scared yet?
The Emperor commands! Here we go.
Show me what you've got. Yeah!
Glato, we're undertaking this task. Let's test our skills, Glato. The order's clear.
Rejoice! Let my fury rain down upon thee!
I will do my duty.
Let's get to it.
High momentum.
Time to slaughter someone.
And so it shall be done. Actions will...
How shall I sit?
Accepted.
Ugh, my ears are ringing.
Rejoice in service! I will not be deterred!
Surrender and accept your verdict.
At your beck and call.
On in, maggot.
We are bound by the blood of martyrs.
them cut down. By hands unclean. For us and the All-Father. What do you want? You are no skilled, I see. It is not for your fireside verses that your friends esteem you, I wager. I am a wolf. My pack answered the Inquisition's call and came to the Coronis Expanse. There was a battle, and then the young wolves yearning to be meat for their brotherlings. To a feast of bolters they went out roving. Though they were but few, one long fang with them went loping. Not to see them cut down by scythes unclean. The pups he sent scattering, and there stood alone the paths guarding. For a foe he long spied, one worthy among unworthy. The song of swords singing, they clashed with clamor and skill, until stood the old wolf upon the bones. Then, by the birds of battle, was he brought down. Was that clear enough? This saga sounds less interesting in prose. A predator does not eat only when it is hungry. There are many reasons to eat. I cannot recommend it. The meat of these Xenos is steeped in corruption and frailty, as well as the foul substances they inject into their blood in vast quantities. That butcher sent you to spy for him, did he? Or do they know nothing of the Emperor's Angels, the Space Wolves of Fenris, or the great Layman Russ in your corner of the galaxy? And why do you want to know? For his own safety. When I am not busy killing inhuman spawn in the arena, the Xenos fear my will. But I sit in a cage while you roam freely around their city. They do not fear you. Maybe there is a reason for that. Maybe our fates are not the same at all. get what you want, you will have to convince two very headstrong individuals. Me and my captor.
The web serves.
know your duty.
Why would I be? You are a stranger. How can I trust you? You could be an enemy. Worse, you could be an idiot. You speak well. I have heard these bookish words many times before, but this is the first time I have heard them spoken with such resolve. I see that you believe in them, that you live by them. I respect that. I will help you. Let no one say that I forgot my duty to the Allfather. It seems Tervantius is not as clever as he likes to appear if he's letting me out of the cage. The joke is on him. Good steel I have already. But if we are going hunting, I will need my wolf skin. What did you say your name was?
With each step, I forge my destiny among the stars.
May these instructions protect the machine spirits that serve me from the blasphemies of corrupted technology. Strategic recommendation. Analysis has shown that the non-human community is racked by strife. Exploiting the Xenos mutual differences can result in temporary alliances that will provide the technological means of returning the unit from Valancius to real space. Comprehension in progress. The operating principles of xeno-augmetics, while alien to the canon blessed by the Deus Mechanicus, are nonetheless quantifiable. They feed, as parasites do, on my blood and the charge of my potentia coil. I, in turn, feed on their mystery as I nurse new comprehension within me. It is painful. It is necessary. May the filters of knowledge bestowed upon us by the machine god protect us from the temptations and horrors of blasphemous revelations. May your labors be effective and fruitful.
Let us raise our cups at Fator, in honor of deeds accomplished and in expectation of those yet to come. This is the name given on Fenris to a pack father, a commander or captain. An Ed Fator answers to a Jarl, the commander of a great company. Since you are the one who commands your crew, and I follow you at present, I am granting you the honored title of Et Fator. Be worthy of it, and see that you do not disgrace this glorious rank. Not everyone is granted the right to ask such questions. But you... I shall allow it. What do you want to know about the Astartes from the glorious Fenris? Fenris is home. A harsh land of harsh winters and harsh people. When comes the Hellwinter, a fearsome season of frosts, the merciless world sea freezes, and great white bears, snow wyrms, and ice trolls go on the hunt. Then, the murderous frost retreats, and boats of harpooners sail out to ply their craft, capturing sea snakes and krakens. And then comes the season of fire. Volcanoes awaken. Waves wash over whole islands, and only the land of Asaheim offers salvation to those whose blood and grit win them the right to live upon it. Clan fights clan. Crows circle over battlefields, and wolf howls rise up to the sky. That is my beloved home. There is no place in the universe like it. Tell me, Edfator, what is the most fearsome foe on Fenris? An answer carried on the wings of the Raven of Wisdom. We know much of the terror of betrayal. Know now the name of the most terrible of all traitors. The curse of the Wolfen is the most fearsome and most terrible foe on Fenris. In the heart of every brother, there lives a dark beast, bloody, and forever ravenous. He hungers to kill, not for glory or duty, or his battle brothers, but solely for the sake of killing. For he who falls to that dark beast, there is no joy or thrill in slaughter. There is but dull rancor. Vilka Fenrika. That is our name in the old tongue of our world. We are the fiercest of the All-Father's warriors, his executioners, his retribution. Our fearless Wolf King is Leman Russ, son of the All-Father. Our world is Fenris, and our home the Fang, which rises from the world's spine into orbit. We are the thunder in the bloody storm of battle that calls to us. That is who we are. But there is more to our spirit than grim destruction alone. In the Hall of Heroes, we hold feasts the likes of which you will see nowhere else. To thundering laughter, we raise our horns, tell our sagas, and honor our glorious fallen. Though the body of an Astartes is built to be immune to the effects of drink, we invented a way around this taboo. The mjod we brew can overcome even our blood. It makes us drunk, and makes our feasts jovial occasions. Ah, mjod. You can brew it nowhere else but on good old Fenris. No other world is home to such poisonous plants. Our gene seed is unique. Lehman Ross blessed us with the Canis Helix, a genetic gift that heightens our senses, making them sharper than those of brothers from other chapters. The Canis Helix kindles a bloodthirst in our hearts and changes our appearance to resemble the lethal wolves of Fenris. The wolves do not take orders from outsiders. We keep the old ways, not the Codex Astartes. We fight in packs, and we are trained and healed by our wise rune and wolf priests. We do not find honor in adorning ourselves in laurels, but instead etch the full names of our fallen kin as a promise of vengeance, and draw strength from that promise. We believe in the great wolves, in the deadly Blackbane and fierce Drakan the Thunderwolf, in the redoubtable Hagar the Mountain Wolf, and in the Bloodied Hunter. In the wolf that stalks between stars, who follows us wherever we may go. And in the uncanny two-headed Morkai, guard of the realm of the dead. Of the great wolves, some show us their favor. Others are more malign. But each teaches us a lesson. For that, we praise and honor them. The All-Father is not a god. He is the best of all humans, our perfect forebear. His blood flowed through the veins of Lehman Ross, and Ross's blood flows in me. Does that make me a god? My respect for him has no end, and I am ready to die for him. But what place does faith have here? Is the All-Father like the massive Iron Wolf, whose every tuft of fur forms a mountain on the surface of Fenris? Or is he as enormous as the Sun Wolf, which rises to hunt every morning and fills our world with light? The All-Father is not a god, but the highest of humanity. Ordinary humans struggle to grasp this, but we, his warriors and offspring, remember the truth. It is difficult for non-Fenrisians to grasp our wisdom. It comes along with the cold and death. Lacan the Ruined Wolf once shared the mysteries of the healing potions and the secrets of magic sagas. He taught them to see the past and future in throne runes, to call down storms, and to carve powerful talismans. The All-Father gifted you with strong intuition. This was made by Skjadi Twice-Thinker. The spirits liked him, and one could feast a whole long-held winter night to the words of his saga. So keen was his mind. He was my friend. Ulfar Redmane. That is what my brothers call me. Do you? And there I was, about to round off my story with a short 400-verse saga about the gifts of Lacan the Ruined Wolf. Should what I told you reach other ears, I shall take your tongue. Fenris Hjolda, et fater.
Lump here, and here. And what the throne is this? Bloody freaks gutted my dog out. Rogue trader, how long have you been standing there? I've told myself that so many times, I don't know what the words mean anymore. Speaking of words, I need to tell you something about my past. If you care to listen, that is. It's about what really pushed me into the pit of anger. Back in Calixis, before I was promoted to Proctor, I served in the same squad with another arbitrator, Emerson. He wasn't just a comrade. We entered the Schola Progenium together. We went through training together. We were assigned to the same hive world. He was like a brother to me, and I killed him. We ran into an ambush during a raid, all because Emerson sold us out to a crime syndicate. I was badly wounded in the fight, lying on the floor, barely alive. The rest of the squad had gone to scout the area, and Emerson stayed to guard me. He didn't notice that I was awake. He was talking over the Vox. He kept demanding bigger payment, and when he started giving our coordinates, I shot him in the back of the head. I figured that we weren't making it out of there alive, so I logged my final report, attached my Vox to Glato's collar, and told him to return to the headquarters. Then, I passed out again, and when I came to, I had already been captured. The heretics tortured me for days, but I held on until the exaction squad arrived. I was put under investigation, but was cleared of the charges and assigned to Piety without Glato. The most corrupt hive world in the Drusis marches. 2 years among the vilest dregs of humanity. It was a test, and I passed. I got my promotion, got Glato back. But after Emerson's betrayal, I was never the same. Maybe you're right. Maybe. First, we should establish how the Xenos themselves leave this place and slither their way to the Coronis Expanse to pillage, slaughter, and take prisoners. Once we have that information, we will need to fight our way to the exit. And for that to succeed, we should already be looking for capable fighters. Although, that last part stopped being a concern the moment an Angel of the Emperor joined you. What other reinforcements would we even want? A dreadnought?
For we are thy blades, washed in blood and darkness. For we are thy wings, broken and featherless. When the crimson flood comes and the river of death flows, guard us from weakness. Burn away the fear and despair that stain our souls, for they are thine to claim. All I heard was that accursed Xenos butcher boasting about another stolen son. Was it the truth? Or was it just another lie told by the Undying One's enemies? I do not know. I can fight. Do not hesitate to unsheathe this blade if it is needed. The Vizier told us that we must die many times to learn the truth. We believed him. We died again and again. But it was all a lie, a delusion. We never truly passed to the other side. But here, I have known 11 deaths and resurrections, but the truth still eludes me. Death brought no answers, only more questions. Where do I begin, and where do I end? Is it really so easy to snatch a soul from the hands of the Undying One and return it to its body? If death is not the beginning or the end, if it is not the thread that guides us, then what is it? Hubris clouded my mind. I thought I knew everything. I was granted the title of Second Spinner and the favor of the Undying One, but my pride was my undoing. This is the punishment for my arrogance and stupidity. We are thy hounds. We pursue the blood of thy foes. We shall not fear the end, for in meeting the end, we meet thee.
You came back from the dark, Elentark? Unharmed. You were asking why? How could I have trusted a monkey, Elentark? After Muaran told me that it was your kind that had attacked Cruderok. After I glimpsed a piece of Cruderok in your chambers. I saw that monkey hearts were full of hatred for me and my kin. And I saw how indifferent you were to the troubles of my kind. What else was I to do? Of the two sorrows, I chose the one that was closer to my blood. Which is why I tried to find my dark cousin on the day he attacked Argonis. I used the commotion to slip away unnoticed and wandered the streets like a shadow in search of its owner. My efforts were futile. I returned to the palace in confusion. I waited for my fresh wounds to stop aching, and for the watchfulness of the surrounding monkey to fade like the mist on an autumn morning. But still, I had my doubts. Perhaps, I thought, I should discuss it openly with you. That monkey Achilles. There was something wrong about him. He kept disappearing at night, so one day I followed him. Achilles was contacting Marajai, using an artifact that transmitted his master's orders. That is how I learned that the burnt monkey was about to betray you, which meant my only chance to discover the fate of my homeworld was about to slip through my fingers. I could not wait any longer. I killed Achilles, took the artifact, and demanded answers from Marajai. He hinted at where I could go to look for the truth. You know what happened next. Kimura. This city grinds down the will of the strong and torments any who get tangled in its dark web. The fools are the first to die, and the shrewd perish regardless. I have never been here before, but few children of Osirion manage to escape the dark city without surrendering a part of their soul. So what is it that you wish to know? The dark city is pierced by millions of spires, and a webway gate may be hidden in any of them. It is the only way out of this place, and an impassable obstacle to any who do not know how to operate it. I know, and will help you should you so desire. But do I have the answers that you seek? Alantak. I promised that I would no longer hide my worries behind an icy wall of pride and doubt. And so I want to explain myself. But are you willing to hear me out? Not here. The words of my truth are intended only for your ears, Elantak.